Okay, so Unit 7 is regarding three-dimensional figures, such as prisms and pyramids. Today, we're going to be discussing not only the prism's volume, but how to find the height and a pyramid's height of the three-dimensional figure, right? And again, the height of a prism is the distance between the two bases. So this is a triangular prism. It has two triangular bases. The height of this prism is the distance between my two bases. The height of my pyramid is the distance from the apex, the very top of the pyramid, straight down to the base, like you had a rope dangling down from this top point. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our first problem. The triangular prism below has a volume of 504 cubic centimeters. What is the height of the triangular prism? Okay, so we already know that this is a triangular prism. That means I have two bases, and they are triangles. So I'm going to identify, oh, here's a triangle, and then there's a hidden one right here, right? Okay, it has a volume of 504 cubic centimeters. I already know the volume. I'm not solving for the volume. Well, what am I solving for then? Let's find out. What is the height of the prism? All right, so I know that I'm talking about volume, 3D figure. I'm going to my star chart. I see volume of a prism. Here's the formula. Area of your base times your height, right? Okay. So the area of my base times my height. I'm going to write that down so that I don't forget. Volume is equal to area of my base times my height. This is a prism, so I'm not dividing it by 3. It's not a third of that. Okay, now my base is a triangle. The very first thing I'm going to do is replace my capital B with the area of a triangle. Ms. Burns, it's just base times height, right? Well, let's check the star chart. Area of a triangle, 1/2 the base times your height. Okay, so be careful with that. And then don't forget the height at the end. So I've written my formula. I've replaced my capital B with the formula to find the base area, right? And now I'm going to plug in. I already have the volume. I am not solving for V volume. I already have it. So I'm going to replace my V with the number 504. And my base is 9 by 8. So 1/2 of 9 by 8. Okay, and I'm looking for the height of my prism, the distance between my two bases. Height is equal to what? All right, now I have a bunch of things happening next to my height. I need to get my height all by itself. So I'm going to clean this up to make it one number by operating, right? I'm going to do 1/2 of 9 times 8 to just clean it up, get one number, and then we'll go from there. So I'm leaving this alone, 504. And according to GEMDOS, we're supposed to do brackets first anyway. Now, 1/2 of 9. 9 is an odd number, so I don't want to get a decimal, which is kind of confusing for me. So I'm going to look around for an even number. Oh, 1/2 of 8? Well, that's 4. So now I can do 4 times 9 pretty easily in my head. So I'm going to do that first. Okay, 4 times 9 is 36. And then I'm still left with, I don't know the height of my prism. But at least I know now it's just one number in front of it. Height is being multiplied by 36 right now. I want to get it by itself, so I'm going to undo that multiplication. The opposite or inverse of multiplying by 36 is dividing by 36. Whatever I do to one side, though, I have to do to the other. Okay? So now all I have remaining on the right-hand side is my h for height. And then 504 divided by 36 is 14 centimeters. I know it's centimeters because the others were. So the height, the distance between my two bases in this prism is 14 centimeters. So again, I wrote my formula. I replaced the area of the base formula. Then I plugged in and cleaned up that number that's in front of my h so that I could isolate the height and get it by itself. All right, let's try one more problem. The rectangular pyramid below has a volume of 132 cubic meters. What is the height of the pyramid? All right, the rectangular pyramid has a volume. Okay, so we have a rectangular pyramid. Pyramid means I have one base, and it's a rectangular one. So I'm going to draw a little rectangle to remind myself. I already know the volume. The volume is 132 cubic meters. I'm wondering, well, what is the height of this pyramid? Okay, so it's a pyramid, rectangular. I'll just go ahead and go straight to my formula here. Volume of a pyramid. Oh, pyramid's smaller than a prism. That's right. It's 1/3 the area of my base times my height. 1/3. All right. So volume is equal to 1/3 the area of my base times my height. Okay, my base is a rectangle. So I can already start to rewrite this. How do I find the area of a rectangle? Area of a rectangle is base times height. Area of a rectangle is base times height. And then I still have the height of my pyramid that I'm looking for. All right, I have my original formula. I plugged in the area of my base. Now I need to replace my letters with numbers. I'm not solving for my volume. It's already been given to me. The volume is 132 cubic meters. Now the area of my base is 8 by 6. And I'm looking for the height of my pyramid. Okay, again, a lot of stuff happening over here next to my height. So I'm going to clean that up so that I can isolate this height all by itself. I'm going to leave this 132 alone for a minute. 1/3 of 8 times 6. Well, according to Gym Boss, I need to do this bracket first. So I'm going to leave the third alone. 6 times 8 is 48. And then I have the height still I need to deal with. Okay, 1/3 of 48 is the same thing as multiplying 1/3 times 48, which is the same thing as 48 divided by 3, which is 16. Okay, now I have one number. Be able to simplify this, right? So my height currently is being multiplied by 16. I am solving for the height, so I need to get it alone. Just like over here, we were solving for volume, so it was all by itself on the equation, right? So we need to solve for height. We need to get height all by itself on one side of the equation. Right now it's being multiplied by 16, so I have to do the inverse, the opposite. I divide by 16. Whatever I do to one side of the equation, though, I must do to the other. So 132 divided by 16 is 8.25 centimeters. Okay, so the height of my pyramid, if from the top of my apex straight down to my base, as if a rope was hanging straight down, that is 8.25 meters. Oopsie. 8.25 meters. Okay, so this today is more about how to manipulate equations and really understanding what your letters stand for and what they represent. Okay, good luck. You'll do great.